How much wood did the woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That's what I've always wanted to know. But anyway, back to the show. Welcome to the Anime Dad podcast and Anime Dude podcast. Um, my name is Riley, the Anime Dad, for all you newbies, and it is great to have you with us. It really is. Um, I've always wondered that, but a person that might know is the woodchucker himself, Bjorvio.
Hi everyone. They call me the woodest of woodchuckers because if there's one thing that I know how to do, it's go out into the forest, take a tree, and chuck it at people. I usually miss, but I'm really good at chucking the tree.
I can imagine you sitting on a hill, just like throwing branches at people's heads.
Like just sitting there like yeet,
Yeah.
yeet, yeet.
Some hiker
or
gets knocked
or
out.
leaf, leaf, leaf.
But no,
I'm
it's
sorry,
great to
that was
be.
bad.
No, that was good. I like that. I like it. Maybe a dog would bark. It's great to be here. It is really great to record, and I am pumped to get this episode going. Today, we're going to be
Woo
talking
woo.
about some cool things. But before we get into that, we got the improv questions for the newbies. Improv means improv. They're improv questions, improv answers right from our noggins. They could be brilliant or they could be so. But we will see. They always are fun. All right. So let's get into it. My one for you, Bjorvio. Let's go 1-1. My one for you. If you were a blade of grass drifting in the breeze, and an animal chews you and rips you out the ground, what animal would that be, and what anime character would be with that animal?
It's a good question. And the thing is, I would get eaten by an elephant because elephants need lots of food to survive and they are quite big. So that makes sense. It would be eaten by an elephant. And the person that the way that it relates to anime is because Anya is fighting the elephant over peanuts. She's losing horribly, but she's having fun in the process.
Love that. That's very. I was wondering where you're going with that. And you're fighting an elephant. I'd pay to see that. That's for sure. Um, what's your first one for me, brother?
All right, so you see Anya fighting an elephant over peanuts. And you're like, oh, this is great. This is what I was hoping it would be. It's super fun. And then mommy and daddy Forger come on the scene. And you're like, the ref's like, oh, no outside interference. And then someone's like, oh, it's cool. You get to choose two people to take on mommy and daddy Forger. Who would you throw in the ring against Anya, Lloyd, and your Forger to help the elephant?
It would have to be Shao Tucker with his daughter and
Oh,
dog.
gosh.
And the only reason I say that is because I'd love to see him get his butt kicked.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
100%.
so that is the only reason why that would be the case. I don't want his daughter or dog to have an issue. It's a long time ago. I haven't watched it in a while. So he might be a good guy. I forget, but yeah, I'd like to see that matchup. That's for sure. All right. Second question for you. You are a pro wrestler with an anime persona. Okay. You have to copy three different anime characters. Sorry, one anime character's look, one anime character's skill set, physical or move skill set, and one anime character's personality. Who will those be, and what will your wrestler name be?
Okay, you're gonna have to roll with me on this. Okay, you're gonna have to roll with me. Physical appearance is going to be Ryomen Sukuna. My actual like strength and stuff, we're gonna give it like All Might because I mean, why not? You have to. Personality, Koro Sensei. Just step into the ring. Woo!
That would be an entertaining character, that's for sure. And what would your wrestler name be?
Uh, my wrestler name would be the all jujitsu teacher.
All jujitsu teacher. Okay, I like that a lot. uh, all right, second question for me.
All right, so you wake up one day feeling like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again. Except you reach inside yourself and you pull out a flavor of potato chips that has been sponsored by an anime character that really loves potato chips. Who sponsored that bag that you pulled out from your plastic bag self?
Firstly, baby, I'm a firework. Secondly, it would be Al from not Al.
Oh, from Death Note.
Yeah, Death Note. Is it Al? The other guy.
Yeah, yeah, it's L.
That would be yeah, who sponsored it because he eats the chip with such elegance as you've seen in there. He just takes it and eats the chip and he actually talks while he does it. He's an elegant
Oh,
chip
the
man.
one that ate the chip was that was Light Yagami.
Light, not Al, yeah, Light Yagami. Because he just eats the chip so elegantly and his face will be on it. And if you don't purchase the chips or disagree with it or complain, your name automatically gets put in the death note. So, yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying. I don't know what's more terrifying. Buying a chip product where if I don't buy it, I get put in the death note, or seeing Light Yagami's face during that scene on a bag of chips.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Essentially.
Final question for you. You wake up in a barn with three animals, a horse, a cow, and a rat. Now, these animals are overpowered. They're on this. They're on another level. They're the type of animal that's 10 times stronger than the normal animal of their species. It's you versus them, and you can choose to have the powers of one human other than Krillin in Dragon Ball Z. Who would that be?
Okay, so the obvious choice here would be Tien Shinhan because, Tien's really powerful and all that too. But I don't want the third eye. You know what I want to look like? I want to look like a clown. So I'm going with Chaozu for his telekinesis. I want to just be able to pick them all up at the same time and or freeze them in place and just kind of yeet them around the battlefield. And I think he does know the Dodon ray, so I'd be able to be like pew pew, not doing a whole lot of damage, but enough to prove my point.
That's actually very true. That's very true. Um, very good. What's your final question for me?
All right. So you miss your train one day and you take off running as fast as you can with your yellow cape over your head, making it very hard to see where you're going. So you throw it back over your shoulder. You're like, okay, thank goodness I can see now. And you run after this train and you run until suddenly it starts getting closer. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm catching up to it. But then you realize that it's at the next stop and you're like, oh, well, I need to hurry up and keep running so I can get to this train. Who's driving the train?
Great question. It's no one driving. It's the Mugan train or Shugon train or
Oh,
Flugon train from Demon Slayer.
maybe you shouldn't be running then.
And I'm only running because I'm an Osuke and I just want to destroy the train. Oh my goodness, it just clicked to me. I mean, I haven't watched that in so long, but Inosuke, when he first sees it, says he wants to battle it or fight it, and then he
Yeah.
actually ends up doing that.
Dude, that must be like the greatest thing ever, except for any other time that Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu encounter a train. How do you know this one's not a demon? That's what you said about the first one.
That's very true. Great questions, great answers. I like how we always keep it, we try to keep it anime themed as well. That's absolutely perfect and cool. Now, talking about anime themed, this is my segue. What are we talking about today, sir?
Today, we're going to do a little bit of an interesting thought experiment, and that is going to be what one or two animes would you have shown your younger self and why?
Great question. And now, are we gonna specify an age?
You know, I think I'm gonna give like around a timeline for mine because like there's some that I would not have that I would show to like my teenage self that I wouldn't show to my younger self. Um, so I'll give like a general age range, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that's a smart way of doing it. It's a general younger self. We wish we watched it sooner. If we watched it sooner, how our life would have changed for the better, really. Um,
Hmm.
would you like to start?
Sure, but I'll let you pick which one I start with. Do you want me to do the one I would have done as my older self, or the one I would have done to my younger self?
Your older self or younger self? Older self.
My older self. Okay. This one would have been around the time I would have introduced this to myself around like early high school, and that would have been Assassination Classroom. And I'll tell you why. You know, Assassination Classroom, as for as much as we talk about on the show, it really is one of my favorite animes. It captivated me. It blew my mind. But I had some teachers in high school that really set me on the path that I'm on, really set my heart ablaze. Um, and most of them have already passed on. And I think what I would have liked is to really, if I would have seen Assassination Classroom, I probably would have appreciated them more. And so it would have, I would have had an even closer bond with them. But also, at that time is when I was starting to fall out of anime because I thought every anime was like shonen and stuff like that. And so it would have been a nice little like way of showing like look, there's different kinds of anime that can have this action and can have this great plot and have this amazing character development, but they're not, you don't, they don't have to be one of the big three of Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, One Piece. Because that's really all I thought there was. I had no idea that anime was as big as it, had as many as it was even back then. So I think that one would have been ideal for me. It was because and it would have allowed me to probably not, I'm not going to say would have not, but probably have not fallen out of anime for as many years as I did.
Great choice and really good reasoning. I agree with you. There are teachers that really impact your life so in such a good way, and you don't realize it until it's too late, or sometimes too hard to communicate to them, or awkward to communicate to them how important they were to you. Um, yeah, really good choice. My choice. When I was born, uh, I wish my parents put a TV in front of me and turned on One Piece because I might be caught up by now. Um, no,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe. But One Piece is definitely one I wish I started sooner because again, it would have kept my passion for anime alive. I wish it was. I mean, back in our day when there were
Back in
landline
my
telephones.
days, we had to walk to school uphill both ways while fighting Son Goku.
I had a broken leg and I crossed a river that was 10 kilometers long to go to to go to work. Um, yeah, it's anime was so hard to get your hands on or watch, and it was considered weird and strange, and it was just really tough unless it was on Cartoon Network or TV or some weird. If you had a friend that knew a website that it was on, it was real tough to find. So One Piece would have been a really incredible show to watch sooner because it would have reignited my love for anime. It also would have kept me. One Piece has so many real smart themes, like question everything, never give up. Um, try your hardest, stick to your goals, all those sorts of things that I feel align well with my core beliefs. So yeah, One Piece would have been really good for me. And like I said, I may be caught up, which I'm close to being caught up to at the moment. But um, I
Hey.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see, we'll see. But that's my one. Now, what was yours when you were talking about even younger than that? What would you introduce yourself to even younger?
Well, I'm gonna throw in my runner-up, which would have been at the same time. I would say probably around like middle school me, and that would have been Dr. Stone as a runner-up, just because I really love science, and that one would have been cool, and I could have seen myself like doing all the experiments. But there's one that I really think would have had a better impact on my life to introduce to me at that age, and something I would still love to this day if I'd started it younger, and that's One Piece.
One Piece was the one.
One
Wow.
Piece was the one because I started One Piece probably when I was in high school, and by that point in time, I'd started like Naruto, I'd started One Piece, and I was just like, okay, it is what it is. That was around the start of me falling out with anime, but I really would have liked to have started One Piece when I was younger. And, I don't know if I'd be caught up or not, but I'd probably be pretty close given how, like, when I like something, I go like full force into it. So I'd probably be pretty close, if not fully caught up. And I love like from what I know of One Piece, it's a great story. I love the themes of it. I love the characters. It's just utterly incredible. I just wish I had the time to fully invest and get caught up on it because it's such a wonderful show. So especially knowing like that age me, if I'm sitting here, I'm like, hey, you need to watch this show because I said so, and because I'm from your future and I know you and I know what you would like. Oh yeah, it would younger me would have eaten that up. 100%. I would have. I think 100% I would have gotten so invested into One Piece.
A great choice. I'm glad you said that. That actually gets me quite excited. And cosplaying as someone I know cosplayed as Luffy recently, and that was a real cool experience to see that happen. So it's always on the cards for the future. Um, the next one that I wish was available at when I was younger was My Hero Academia. Um, it blows my mind every single day. It does. My Hero Academia is an incredible show. It really is brilliant. And I wish I was more like Bakugo. So I would base my life on Bakugo's life. Vocabulary, spiky hair, calling everyone a damn nerd. And maybe I would have turned out cooler.
I don't think you could get any cooler, you damn nerd.
So My Hero Academia would be my other one. But I mean, there are so many incredible animes that I am so privileged to have access to right now, and
Right.
some obviously my children can't watch because they're for an older audience, but some that I'm watching with them, I really get to see it through their eyes if it's ones that I've already watched, or I get to experience it with them, and I hope that those good values that are in numerous animes would inspire them to do different things with their life and instill some morals that maybe and attributes in them that makes them stronger as people. They definitely have got stronger at wrestling, as I've noticed. They're really good at pulling hair. So I'm not sure what anime they got that from, and that's why my beard is a little bit
Probably
shorter.
Dragon Ball. I mean, Goku bites people, so thankfully they didn't pick that up.
Not yet, not yet, but it's coming. Um, so probably Dragon Ball. But no, there are so many incredible anime, and all we're saying really is, if you're a listener and you're just a regular anime watcher, or you stick to the same stuff as normal and replay it to yourself, maybe try something new. I've been doing that recently, and I'm
Hmm.
getting some really really beautiful surprises. Try a slice of life. Try, um,
Try an
yeah,
isekai. I mean, they're
yeah.
kind of weird sometimes, but you know what? I didn't think I would like a anime called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Vending Machine. Now I wandered the dungeon. But you know what? It's not bad. You know, it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but you know what? It's not bad. And because it wasn't bad, I'm now branching out to other things like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or
Yes.
Rising of the Shield Hero, or
Yes.
something like that, or or even like it's encouraged me to go back and watch Yu Yu Hakusho in order because I watched it so out of order that I didn't really understand what was going on when I was younger. And so now I'm going back and watching it in order, and I'm like, I love this. This
Yeah.
show's really good. So, there's pros and there's always fun to be had about finding an anime that you would enjoy and maybe just branching out a little bit. Because, I think that's what this episode really comes down to is we really do I think there's a lot to be said about like if we would have branched out a little bit earlier and seen some of these animes earlier in our life, it probably would have had a bigger impact on us as well, more so than anime already has, as much as two dudes that have an anime podcast could have,
Maybe we'd love anime more.
We'd be the super anime dudes.
um, all right. Well, that's brilliant. Well, you know what? I've got a manga right here, and I thought
Okay.
you could get a manga, and we do the thing that you spoke of if you got a manga readily available.
Oh, I got multiple mangas available right here. All right. All right. I
All right.
got today I'll be reading from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, volumes, I guess technically Full Metal Alchemist, volumes 13, 14, and 15.
Brilliant. I'll be reading from East Blue, One Piece, with three different volumes. And we just open onto a random page and we have a conversation. So every new sentence that we do comes from the next page. Is that right?
Yep, and we'll try and make as much cohesive sense as we can, but considering the randomness of these pages sometimes, we can make no promises.
All right, you start.
All right. Who transmuted your body?
Who am I?
I'm putting all my trust in you.
Daddy?
Huh?
Um, uh, wow, he's way up there.
I know it was painful and scary for you. I'm sorry.
Um, this is harder than I thought. All
It
right,
is.
painful and scary for you. I'm sorry. Um, I finally have it.
How's that?
Next page. Uh, the ruffian who hit me.
How is that even possible?
I don't want to die.
But why?
Um, by punching yourself in the throat.
Hey, don't blame me.
Um, okay, alrighty. I'll miss that rascal.
I'm sorry.
Aye, aye, sir.
Hey, where's Mr. Edward?
Patience, little lady. First, we gotta see your treasure.
For you, there shall only be oblivion.
Very good. You know what's hard is when you get to pages like this that just have zzz and like explosions and stuff like that, and I'm like,
Yeah, I there was one. I'll see if I can refind it. It was this one when greed is taking over Ling's body, and there was almost nothing I could use, and then I see there's one quote that's like why or something like that, and I was like, oh, well, that works.
that's fun, but pretty darn tough. I think I think I'll get better as I go. I've got One Piece. I finally convinced my wife to have an inside manga and anime drawers. So I've got One Piece, I've got
Ooh.
My Hero, I've got Dragon Ball, I've got Blue Lock that I got sent and signed. It's a Blue Lock that's sent and signed by the voice actor. So pretty pumped. But
That's cool. That one's on my list.
yeah, it's on mine too. So I've watched a little bit of it, and I haven't read the manga yet, but at least I have it. Oh, and I've got all the Dragon Ball mangas.
I need to go back in my and see if I can still find all of mine because I used to have all of Dragon Ball and like half of Z.
Get it, bro. Get it, sign it, send it to me, and I'll sell it for auction for at least $400.
Heck yeah.
Because you are the voice actor of Vegeta, aren't you?
Well, it's not exactly something that we're sharing on the podcast, but, Final Flash!
Hey, just me and my daughters are in this blimmin' zone of watching new anime and finding voice actors that are the same. So, do you remember
Oh, it's my favorite.
reincarnated as a slime, Gabta, the lizard man?
Yeah.
His dad obviously is Vegeta,
Yeah.
and that was just so hilarious when he pops up. But my girl's like, Vegeta, what are you doing here? And I think we heard Bakugo's voice actor in there, and
I think so.
Dr. Stone. Have you watched season 3?
Yeah.
When
Dude.
I'm still
When he showed up in there, bro.
I'm just starting it, but who's the guy, the navigator guy? What voice actor is he?
The guy with the red cloak?
I think so. He's the navigator, the captain who they go on the
Oh,
honey balloon
yeah.
with.
You might know him. It's Bakugo's voice actor.
Yes, as well.
Yeah.
So
But he's
we,
it's so good because he's like such a different personality. Like he's so much happier than Bakugo, but he's still got that same confidence in him. Like it's so cool.
oh, bro, I absolutely love it. Yeah, we love it. And then just seeing Deku pop up in everything, reincarnated as a slime, has that weird that young kid who sounds just like Deku. And my girls straight away say, Deku, what are you doing? And yeah,
Yeah, it's so funny to hear them like because he's also in Dr. Stone, and it's like such a different character
yeah,
than Deku. And I'm
yeah.
just sitting here like, in what situation would Deku ever actually say that line?
I love it. We need to do try have like a sentence with all the voice actors from Deku, or like a series of sentences, and see if we can get it to correlate somehow.
Oh, that might be fun.
Yeah, but no, great episode. I love that. Could you take us out with again your voice, Vegeta, doing saying some amazing things about Rimuru the slime?
Hello there, faithful listeners of the Anime Dudes and the Anime Dads podcast. I am the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta, and we want to give an extra special welcome to Rimuru, the slime, because they are the most faithful listener of the Anime Dudes and the Anime Dads podcast. So the rest of you need to strive to be like Rimuru. He's the thing that keeps me up at night. I count him as I'm trying to sleep. I mean, there's only one, so I don't get very far. But it's just, it's one. Oh, I'm so happy, and then I fell asleep next to my wife. When I'm not busy training. Yeah, anyway, come back next week, because we know Rimuru will, to the Anime Dudes and Ads podcast. We have something so fun for you. If it's good enough for the Prince of all Saiyans, and it's good for Rimuru, it's good for you too. So don't forget. Go Beyond, Plus Ultra, Big Bang Attack, Super Saiyan, God, Super Saiyan, and Kakarot's a clown.